Hey there, maybe we should talk about Disney. Let's do that right now. Hey, there's Tom, Tom's Tech Show. Today I just got to give some 2 cents, I guess, on Disney, what's all the different things that are going on. Of course, we know Disney has delayed the opening because, people, when they're together, they get sick and they pass things around to each other, and some people get really sick and some people, majority of people, do not. And so I'm of the one that majority. I don't get me started about the statistics in my county, where I have a better chance of slipping on a puddle of water and breaking my neck than dying of anything else right now. So, but Disneyland's delaying their reopening because California is a totalitarian state. And, granted, if you have a condition that makes you susceptible, or you are over like 70 or 80 years old, stay in home, have your family take care of you, which you should do every flu season, not just today. Every flu season, you should do this for your elderly and those that are susceptible. Right? Done deal. I mean, shouldn't be just this time. Should be every time. Just don't get me started. I'll go off on a rant, and then we'll never come back. We'll just never come back. I was walking on the pier the other day, which was nice after the state mandate. See, I'm going on already. After the state mandate of everybody wearing masks, walking around on the pier out here where I live, and nobody wearing a mask. So much for that here in California. I did chance on my walk to see a police officer parked in one of the parking areas there, and I made sure 100% to go over, stop him. He rolled down his window and he said, "Is there a problem? Can I help you?" I said, "No. Let me help you. Let me just say thank you for what you do to protect our community and the sacrifice that you make and the things that you do for everybody in our community." I just said, "Thank you so much." Normal people, we want our police, right? Okay, back to Disney. See, you can't get me started on that stuff. I'll go bananas. So they're delaying their opening. I guess Downtown Disney's still going to open on the 9th. I will probably be there on the 10th to shoot some videos about what's open, what's not open. But they're going to delay. I already knew they were going to be kind of opening in July because people that we know had already told us they got notice that they were going to be returning to work. But since the state didn't allow them information about it, and they're not going to tell them when they can open until July 4th, that would not be enough time to get everybody back. I mean, I think they said just food prep was going to take like 2 weeks just to get food prepared to be in the parks, because remember, everything shut down and all the food was handed out to either shelters or food banks or something out. They distributed all of the food and stuff out of there, so they got to gear all that up and get that back rolling, which is no small feat. But with limited capacity in the parks, it may be okay. There's still no word really deeply about how tickets are going to work. I mean, we have the highest pass that they have at Disneyland, and I don't know how they're going to do that. I've heard rumors that they're going to add 1 to 2 months onto our pass so that we can just continue getting our 2 or 3 days that they have, that we can have. I don't know. I've heard 2 days here. I've heard 3 days here, that we can reserve up to 3 days, maybe up to 2 days in California, being able to get into the park, which just means that every day that I can get into the park, I'm going into the park until my pass is over. So that's fine. It'll be a challenge to keep getting the reservations and see how fast they fill up. If they go too far out, if they go months out and they get filled up. I mean, Disneyland is really, really heavily dependent on its annual pass holders, and these Disneyland pass holders, I think, are some of the real diehard fans going to the original park, all of the classic rides and everything else. I think that's that's going to be, it's going to be hard. I think they're going to definitely need to extend our passes quite a bit. So I've gotten nothing so far on my app. I keep checking my app. I haven't gotten anything yet. So we'll see. So that's quite the bummer and the struggle, especially for the people that we know that are really not being paid by Disney, and they are not doing well. They want to get back to work. So despite what the unions say, the employees want to go back to work, and they want to go back now. So then next, let's jump over to our next craziness, which is the Princess and the Frog replacing, Splash Mountain. I've heard that possibly this was under talks to change way back earlier in the year, that they were going to do something with updating the ride. Before all of the craziness, started, and we started having people destroy our culture and everything else go on. But whether it was being talked about before and now it's being accelerated, or it was only because of what's going on that suddenly, it's got, oh my gosh, it's got to change. It didn't have to change. I mean, nobody I knew, if you go on any hot day, the line is, 2 hours long, because it's a fun little ride with a little quirky song that goes through the ride. Do all those people come out thinking, oh, this is such a horrible ride because of the song, because of this? Is it terrible because of all this? No, they just want to get on the ride. They want to cool off. They want to have a little fun and all that. Nothing bad. I've never heard, you can't get on the ride. We need to put you over here because you're the wrong type of person, so you can't get on the ride. I mean, that would be, the stupidity, which of course that never happens. So is Disney about changing, rides for no reason? No, they will continually update and change rides. I mean, they did the Alice in Wonderland ride that they updated and did all some digital projection things too, and everything else that really enhanced the ride, really did, some amazing things to the ride and made it a lot better. Now, I know at Epcot, they changed some of the rides and made it frozen instead of the other stuff. So we'll, and people hated that, and some people like that and stuff. What is my background? I'm Danish, English. So, that's kind of in a little bit of my heritage. Nordish, I guess, is kind of in my heritage a little bit. Norse stuff somewhere back there. But, it didn't bother me that they changed it. Now, if there was something in the ride that 5 people said, oh, I don't like this, and suddenly they have to change all the rides everywhere, well, that's a problem. You can't continually if you are constantly whipped. I used to work at a company, and this company was creating different kinds of training videos for the internet when the internet was really just getting started. And anytime anyone came to the head of the company, the president of the company, and they said, look, you do these kind of videos and we'll give you a whole bunch of money. And boom, all of our production, everything, our video crews, everything we had suddenly changed. And we went off to this other thing, doing these other kinds of videos and all this stuff. And then that would kind of fizzle out a little bit. And then the next month, some other person would come up and say, oh, if you do these kind of videos, we'll give you a lot of money. So then production would all change. Film crews would all change where they're going, what they're doing. They would completely switch everything around. And boom, then we would go off to this other. And the thing was, no one with money to the company was ever following through, but it was destroying the company because we kept having to change course all the time based on someone else's opinion and ideals. You cannot run a company like that. You have to have leadership with their opinions and ideals that are there, and then you all get behind those and you move the company forward. Now, if that company starts, ideals can change and move a little bit as the company grows, as you see need and stuff in your business environment. But if every time some little thing comes along and it completely knocks the company off where it's going and steers it somewhere else, eventually everybody's just going to say, forget it. I'm not even going to deal with that anymore. Right? I'm not even going to deal with you people, because if I start dealing with your company, then you're going to have somebody come up to you and say, oh, this, and then you're going to completely change and not be what I want anymore. So I think Disney has to be aware of that, that they don't want to continue to push and listen to a narrative that is not part of the general population of Disney park goers, right? How many people who are complaining about it actually go to the park every week? I mean, we were going twice a week or twice a month, are there all the time, pay for the highest annual pass, all these things. How many of those people who are complaining actually do that? I'm betting it's around 0 to 5%. So now you're catering to a narrative who you're not even making money off of. So that flows into the get woke, go broke kind of methodology of what these businesses are doing. I saw Nike just lost a ton of money, not just because of the beer bug deal, but just because people are turning away from Nike. I stopped buying Nike a while back because they stopped making shoes with arch support in them. They had one shoe that was left. They stopped making it. So I said, nope, I can't buy you anymore. And plus all the other stuff. But I mean, at some point, I guess we're all just going to have to start making our own clothes so we don't have to deal with anybody's problems. So, but anyway, I mean, they're changing this. I mean, I'm okay. It looks amazing. It's going to be, I'm sure the ride is going to be amazing. The Imagineers are just incredible. I just potentially don't like the motivation that triggered it, right, behind it. I mean, we had the, what's the other one? The redhead at Disneyland. I thought I had that. Let me look for that. I had an article up here that had it on there somewhere, but I lost it. Okay, let's find that. So they changed the redhead pirate. It used to be the auction where they're auctioning off the women and everything else, and I'm like, okay, that's what pirates did. I mean, pirates went and they found people, goods, products, anything that they could take and grab and auction off. Well, we couldn't have that because that was supporting, human slavery. I'm like, no, that's what actually happened in history. So you're in Disney, you're denying history. But I understand they want to be a little bit more family friendly. But I'm sure no one went through the ride and saw this, auction scene of them auctioning the women and people off in there and said, hey, that's a good idea. I'm going to start auctioning people off. I'm sure no one, I'm sure people were doing that all over the place. That's where all the people get the idea from, was from the Disneyland ride. But now they've changed it. And the problem is that now this part of the ride is hyper annoying. They have a huge bright spotlight on the redhead pirate lady, and her voice is like grating and annoying and is louder and everything over all the other people in the other characters that are in the area. So it really takes away from the ride. This part they did completely wrong. They need to tone the voice down, make it a smoother voice. It's like a very harsh voice. Maybe dim the spotlight on the pirate a little bit. I don't know. I just basically ignore that part of the ride and continue on past it. I just don't even care anymore. You know, it's one of my favorite rides, and there's parts of the ride now that I have to not care about, and that annoys me. See, this is where we don't want to go, to make people not want to go. Change rides enough so that people, well, I don't want to go there anymore because they changed it and made it wrong. Right? That's, you know, that we don't want. With all that said, am I still going to go to the Disney parks? Yes, I will be going to Disneyland and Disney World. Hopefully to get to a lot of the other Disney parks around the world at some point. But yeah, we'll still keep going. And the real problem is, am I going to go and have to just not go on the rides that they've changed that I don't like anymore, and only go on the rides that I like? So I think that's what it's going to be. You're going to have, you know, if they change too much somewhere, you may have complete, you know, dead areas of the park where nobody will go. So, and then they're going to have to realize that, wow, we messed that up, and, you know, and have to change it. Kind of like Galaxy's Edge. I mean, Galaxy's Edge, the one, you know, Rise of the Resistance is amazing as a ride and as an experience. But as a classic Star Wars person, it's horrible because there's no representation of all the classic Star Wars characters. All right. Okay, well, remember, everybody, to like, share, subscribe to all of your small YouTube channels. We all appreciate it. And thank you for watching this video. And take care, and we'll see you on the next one.